1. Now. I whirl away from the window that overlooks the Thames. A man has entered the room through a door that I didn't notice on my way in. He's standing in the middle of the open doorway, arms crossed, smiling. My survival instinct kicks in. With a roar, I hurl myself at the stranger, ignoring the flare of pain in my bruised, broken body. I curl my fingers into a fist and raise my hand over my head as I close in on him. The man doesn't react. He doesn't even uncross his arms. All he does is cock his head, to gaze with interest at my raised fist. His smile never slips. I come to a stop less than a meter from the man, eyeing him beadily as my fist quivers above my head. If he tried to defend himself, I would have torn into him, figuring he was an enemy, as almost everybody else in the city seems to be. But he leaves himself open to attack, and continues to smile. "Who the hell are you?" I snap. He's dressed in a light grey suit, a white shirt and purple tie, and expensive-looking leather shoes. He has thin hair, neatly combed back, brown but streaked with grey, calm brown eyes. Looks like he's in his 40s. "I am Dr. Oystein," he introduces himself. "That's supposed to mean something to me," I grunt. "I would be astonished if it did," he says, then extends his right hand. "You don't want to shake hands with me," I sneer. "Not unless you want to end up with a taste for brains." "I was an adventurous diner in my youth," Dr. Oystein says, his smile widening. "I often boasted that I would eat the flesh or innards of just about any creature, except for humans. Alas, ironically, I can now eat nothing else." I frown and focus on his fingers. Bones don't stick out of them the way they poke out of every other zombie's. But now that I look closely, I see that the flesh at the tips is broken, a small white mound of filed-down bone at the center of each pink wall. "Yes," he says in answer to my unvoiced question. "I am undead, like you." I still don't take his hand. Instead, I focus on his mouth. His teeth are nowhere near as jagged or as long as mine, but they're not the same as a normal person's either. Dr. Oystein laughs. "You are wondering how I keep my teeth in such good shape. But there is no magic involved. I have been in this lifeless state a lot longer than you. One develops a knack for these things over time. I was brought up to believe that a gentleman should be neatly groomed, and I found myself as fastidious in death as I once was in life. Please take my hand, Becky. I will feel very foolish if you do not." "I don't give a damn how you feel," I snort, and instead of shaking his hand, I listen closely for his heartbeat. And I don't detect one. I relax slightly. "How do you know my name?" I growl. "How could you have been expecting me? I didn't know that I was coming to County Hall. I wandered in randomly." Dr. Oystein shakes his head. "I have come to believe that nothing in life is truly random. In this instance, it definitely was no coincidence that you wound up here. You were guided by the signs, as others were before you." I think back and recall a series of spray-painted Z-shaped symbols with arrows underneath. I've been following the arrows since I left the East End, sometimes because they happened to be pointing the way that I was traveling, but other times deliberately. "Z for Zom-B," Dr. Oystein says as he sees my brain click. "The signs mean nothing to Revivids. But what curious Revitalized could turn a blind eye to such an intriguing mystery?" "You know about Revivids and Revitalizeds?" "Of course." He coughs slightly. "In fact, I was the one who coined the terms." "Who are you?" I whisper. "What are you?" Dr. Oystein sighs. "I am a scientist and teacher, a sinner and gentleman, a killer and would-be savior. And, if you will do me the great honor,